It's Tim Albright with AVNation with the Road to ISE. Integrated Systems Europe happens the 30th of January through the 2nd of February. And with me to talk about Jetbuilt and their stand is Mr. Paul Dexter. Welcome, sir.
Thank you so much for having me. Great to be back with you.
Absolutely. And also great to looking forward to seeing you in Barcelona. Looking forward to seeing your team. You guys are over in Hall 4K 260, 4K 260, Paul. What will we find this time around in the stand for Jetbuilt?
Well, Jetbuilt, last year we were announcing Bridging the Silos, which is kind of connecting all parties within AV, integrators, end users, manufacturers, consultants, distributors, kind of for the breaking down some of the communication barriers for sake of projects. We went a long way with that. We're kind of extending that with this message of Jetbuilt being the platform for everybody. And that doesn't mean we're the only platform for everybody, but what it means is we really are, because we're launching this client portal for our dealer integrators. Many integrators have nice client portals where you can go to their website. If you're a client, you can log on and you can see information maybe about your projects, but those are separate from where they have all their information. And many integrators have all their information inside of Jetbuilt. So they began asking us, it was a big topic at our annual user summit in Chicago a few months back. And they've been asking us, can we open up a client portal to let them see some of the information within Jetbuilt? And so we're launching that. We began working on it later this year or beginning of third quarter this year. And we're going to launch that at ISE. So it really continues that message of connecting all parties of an AV project. So clearly they're not going to share everything with the client, but it allows them to, we have some clients that have dozens of open projects with their clients, a large banking group, for example, where there may be dozens of not just projects sold or installed, but even just open for that they're working on proposals for. And both parties, maybe, well, what's the price for that one? And how's this one coming and so forth? So this portal would allow the client, the end user, to see that list of the open projects they're waiting on pricing for. They can ask questions. They can upload information. They can answer questions from the integrator as those prices are being developed. And then once the project's sold, of course, a whole host of information can be shared based on, it's through engineering now. Now we're going to installation. Here's a list of our installation tasks. The end user can track those, the installation progress, even to the ordering process and so forth, and what items have been received and where those items are. Are they on a truck on their way to their facility? And then, of course, delivering the manuals, the required deliverables at the end of a project, the owner's manuals, even the asset information like the IP address and logins of all the items installed on the project. All of that can be optionally, you can expose any one of those data points to your client. So it's very exciting. I just kind of jumped into it, but that's the big new feature we're showing at ISE. But as I mentioned, it's a extension of this Bridging the Silos, really having integrators and the end users and distributors, manufacturers all kind of play into these projects for the good of the project itself.
Well, it's a huge step because you're right. I mean, to create a website or to create a database is a huge. It's a huge lift for anybody, right? And the fact that you guys are going to plug and play. A couple of questions here from the client standpoint. When you look at this, a lot of you mentioned banking, a banking institution. They're going to have a lot of decision makers. They're going to have a lot of folks that have input in this. You're looking at for the bank itself. Is that one login? Is that several logins depending on email address? How do you see that working?
Well, yeah, that's interesting. We already have logins like that for end users where they create their Jetbuilt account. They can invite their full team. There could be various offices around the world where they each work their own way. And then they can send projects out for bid within Jetbuilt and compare those bids and so forth. That's a lot of what we launched last year and we announced at ISE last year. This would be a little bit of a twist on that, where this may be, maybe this end user client, maybe this bank doesn't have AV professionals, as it were, meaning they don't have the designers that build projects, as many do, right? Many of these corporations do, some don't. But but this would be a twist on that, where they don't have their own Jetbuilt account. They've been invited by their integrator, and then it gives them a Jetbuilt account, but they don't use it the way the AV professionals do, meaning they don't build up projects and add all their items and then go get a quote. They're just tracking. But yes, then they can also invite their coworkers to track this project and so forth. It might be that it's the financial decision maker that is that first contact, but then they invite their maybe the boots on the ground project manager on that site and so forth. So kind of yes to both, other than it gets a little tricky because some end users do have many seats inside of Jetbuilt, and they're designing projects that they send out for bid or they self-build and so forth. Whereas this is a twist of it, but they connect because, let's say, for example, I'm a medium-sized bank and I have an integrator doing my project. They invite me to their portal, which is powered through Jetbuilt. They'll be able to initiate a project. Maybe they can't build it because they don't have the access to do that, but they can initiate a project. They can drop in photos of the room they want to outfit. They can type in a scope of work, what they want to do. They can upload floor plans and say, send it to that integrator. The integrator gets this project. Now they can go to work designing it. And then when they're done, they send the quote back in, but that channel's already open and the discussion thread is already there. And then if that end user wants to go ahead and design the project, they can upgrade to their own Jetbuilt account and build the project with all of the bill of material and everything else. So there's a lot there, as you can imagine.
There is a lot there. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's very exciting for us, very exciting for our users that have been asking for these types of things. It's pretty cool stuff.
All right, very cool. Well, Hall 4 K260 is where we'll find you, where we'll find this, Paul. But if somebody is not going to ISE, how do they connect with you and how do they follow along with everything you'll be talking about that week?
Yeah, jetbuilt.com, jetbuilt.com. And of course, we have, our YouTube and socials, which is usually at Jetbuilt or YouTube/Jetbuilt. But jetbuilt.com has everything always, and all the new announcements are always there in the updates tab where you can see the latest things coming out. So that's how you find us if you don't have a flight.
All right, very good. Hall 4 is where we'll find Paul. For us, for AVNation, go by our website, avnation.tv. That's avnation.tv. Follow along as we also head to ISE 2024, the 30th of January through the 2nd of February. All that and more at avnation.tv. That's avnation.tv.